Welcome to What's Your Story, where we, Jamie Marco,
And Stan Brown.
delve into the extraordinary lives of everyday people.
Listen in as we uncover the unique tales that shape who we are.
One story at a time.
Hey, let's get ready to explore today's story.
Let's do it. Look at us, all in blue today, Dad. Listener, you can't see unless you're watching YouTube, but we're both in blue.
I thought it was important to bring a little, not that the podcasts are not colorful in and of themselves.
Right.
We bring a little color to the visual audience that we have.
Oh, well, we have a visual. They visualize us and they auditory hear us as well too. Because some people only listen on Apple or Spotify or Amazon,
Mhm.
and then some people watch us on YouTube.
Well, usually if you're just listening, you imagine the voices create an image of what we look like.
Yeah.
And typically, we're probably better looking on an auditory scale than we are on a visual scale.
That's funny.
But I was thinking, when we first started this podcast, I wanted to call it Walk a Mile in My Shoes. And
Right?
Jamie said, well, it's too trite, don't do that. But I'll tell you, there are so many stories that we've covered out there. If I had to walk in someone's shoes I would never make the mile. I mean, there's really no one that's trauma free, I think, in life. You get different levels of trauma, but some of these
Yeah.
stories are very dramatic.
Oh my gosh, I heard I was doing a client. I was coaching this morning.
Jamie, we don't edit.
Yeah, I know. I was coaching a client this morning, and his story was incredible. He was talking about how at the age of 28, he got colon cancer, and one doctor told him, "You've got like 25 days or 25% to live." Another person said, "You're going to heal." Just an amazing story. He served in 9/11. I mean, we were there for our leadership coaching, but what happens is that when you start to human with people and ask real questions, they start to really share. And that is what I try to encourage people to do, is that let's really connect about people's stories.
I'd like to go even one level deeper. I'm very convinced we see the end result being the cancer or the trauma or the psychological damage.
Right.
Uh, to really delve into what their mindset was, either from childhood or early adulthood, what caused this? 'Cause what you think, you internalize, and you create certain chemicals in your body that have long-term effects.
Mhm.
Whether it's cortisone, which is a stress-related
Yeah.
hormone, over a long period of time, the body just breaks down. And the body itself is designed primarily for health,
Yeah.
which is why they call disease dis-ease.
Yeah. Well, he had said that I asked, I said, what do you attribute your mindset to getting you through that? And he was a fighter, literally a soldier, Air Force. He was in the Air Force. I mean, incredible human. And he had said that it was the way he was raised and how his parents raised him and the family that supported him and how much they just instilled just life lessons in him. So I just thought it was really
But
incredible.
having that, what got him to the point? Did his attitude? What made the sickness develop
Yeah.
inside his body?
Oh, you mean like why I got the
Oh
cancer?
yeah,
If
and
we could figure that out, we'd be like gazillionaires.
I'll tell you, I don't think I think a lot of solutions are simpler than you think.
Hmm. It was really interesting. He shared a story with me about how he was positioned or stationed in Alaska and how when there was like Russian fighter jets that would fly over, whatever, I don't know all the particulars. I'm not in the military, but his role was in like negative 20 degrees, was just to be circling, standing on the tarmac and walking guard of a jet in Alaska in the middle of nowhere. That was
Yeah,
his role.
I wouldn't find that stressful.
I know. I mean, right? Incredible. Well, today we have a guest who I have known just for a short period of time, but his mindset is of that, where he is
I didn't
like,
even know this.
he is just this infectious, incredible human who I don't know where it comes from. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk with him more about it, about where this attitude of just, it'll work out, everything's gonna be good, it's gonna be great. I mean, we planned an event together and he was like, let's do
Is
this.
he a mind commando? A mind ninja?
I think he might be. I'm always impressed by his infectious positivity and right attitude when it's needed.
Sounds
So,
like you're talking about me.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, but I see his first name I understand, but I can barely pronounce his last name.
I know. Should we let him in and he can let you know what it is?
Yeah, 'cause missing pronounce a guest name is not a nice thing. Let's be
It's like the worst thing in the world. There's a
there are
girl.
things that are worse than
When you
that.
pronounce someone's name wrong, I just feel like that is like terrible. I feel like you haven't taken your time to actually do that. There he is. Hello, Keith. Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me. This is
Of
awesome.
course. This is my dad, Stan.
Nice to see you, my friend.
Nice
I
to
will
meet you
say,
as well.
this is like the first time I've seen that background when we've been on Zoom a million times. So you're in a new location, or maybe just at, I don't know. Well, where are we today?
I'm in my office. This is I usually have a Zoom background on to look a little bit more professional, but I feel, my bookshelf. I like to
Love it.
showcase my reading skills a little bit.
I love it. So before we get started, I don't know that I've actually ever done this properly or incorrectly. I don't know if I've done it right or wrong. So my dad and I were talking about your last name. We want to make sure that we say it correctly. So Keith,
Otherwise, you'll be Keith G forever.
That's how I've always been, but yeah,
what is the correct pronunciation of your last name?
I'm told it's Graveldinger, but
Oh,
I always feel that this doesn't sound right. It should be an Gra, but it's
right.
Grei, Graveldinger.
Were you ever in the military?
No, I was not.
You know why? The badge was too long. It wouldn't fit on the uniform.
Oh gosh. I grew up in the Midwest in Wisconsin, and it was an odd name, but not that out of control for being in Wisconsin. But when I moved to Florida, and still to this day, everywhere I go where they have to call my name, it's a moment of hesitation, laughter. Like if I'm at the bank, at a restaurant, there's always laughter around it. It's hilarious to me.
Hey, but I feel like that is
Go for the Greiveldinger party.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And
well,
my
I'll never
wife's
get it wrong. I actually thought it was I think I said it Greiveldinger, but it's Graveldinger. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, our next question before we continue on with your story, which I'm fascinated because you and I know each other but don't really know each other. So I'm excited to learn more
Kind of
about
like
you.
us.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. So what is your number today on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being it is the best day you've ever had. You don't have a worry in the world. To a 1 being you should not have gotten out of bed and shouldn't be peopling.
I'm gonna guess. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What's your number?
gosh, I'm gonna say 9.
Was
Oh,
I
you were wrong.
close?
He said 8.5. All right. I love a 9.
Clear eye,
We
get
love
clear
every
eyes.
we love every
Yeah.
number because it's just like being authentic. What would it take for you to go from a 9 to a
Oh,
9.25?
the guy's having a great day.
Sure, but it gives us insight into like what that looks like. What 0.25 higher?
Um, Being at my kids' sporting events and just being with my children as well. Just my family. I mean, that's everything to me. It's like that's why I'm so high because I the last couple weeks I was traveling for work, and it makes you realize like how important it is to be at home with your family, and it's like the most important thing in my life. It's like not even hard for me to fathom. It just being in my house with my family makes me so happy, and just getting them off to school and seeing them, and just being involved with my wife and my kids on a daily basis. That makes it a
Kind of
dream.
waking up and knowing where you are.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that.
Why
And
do you think you travel for business?
yes, yep.
What is that business?
we'll get into that in a
Oh,
second.
we'll do that later.
So, but I think that's really cool because if anyone that knows you or follows you, you include your family in so much of the stuff that you post online. You make them part of the story. But I'm curious as to where does that value come from? Did you grow up that way? Like, where does the importance of family come from for you?
Yeah, growing up in a small town in Wisconsin definitely helped. I mean, that was all I knew. My whole family was on the same block as me. I thought that was normal.
Oh.
We
When
never
you say
left.
that, like what, like grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, or
Absolutely, all on the same block. And so
wow.
every day, the house was filled with family, and my mom was always there cooking, and all my friends came to my house. So I always had not only my family, but my friends were at our house, and that was the most important thing. I didn't realize that was not the norm.
It was normal for you, sure.
Yeah, I love
Absolutely.
that. That's so cool. What town in Wisconsin are you from? Because it sounds like a small town USA. So where was that?
Greiveldinger.
Yeah. Fort Washington, Wisconsin. It's like a little tiny town, a little north of Milwaukee.
Okay. And so you grew up there, like that's where you were born and that's where you were raised, yes?
Absolutely. And,
Um,
and my family is part owners of the Green Bay Packers. So we,
oh.
as along with about 264,000 other,
Yeah, but a little
yeah,
piece is
but
better than no piece at all.
Is that actually like is that like
absolutely
a real thing where like there's part ownership in the team or are you just joking?
right there. You see that? That's right there. It's
Wow. Is that something that this team did or does every NFL team do that?
only professional sports franchise in the world that is publicly owned. There's no owner.
Really?
It's a publicly owned franchise, and if you
Know that.
live in
I
the
don't know.
surrounding 3 counties, you can actually buy a share of stock and be a real owner I mean, you can't trade on the New York Stock Exchange or anything, but it's pretty cool because we actually get voting rights. They send us proxies and ballots, and then they have a an owners meeting up at Lambeau Field once a year.
What's the date on that certificate? When was it purchased?
That is a reissue from 2021.
Could you send us it so we can verify for authentication? Just, we'll pay for the postage. No, but Jimmy, overnight, overnight.
Yeah, I'll be behind cheese. Wait, so what year did your family buy into that?
So we have shares from 1992 was when the first share was offered, and then they did a reissue in 2021. It's basically whenever they need to do stadium repairs or raise
Yeah.
capital, they sell shares, and they've done it 3 times in the history of the franchise.
And there's an annual dividend?
No, only our when our championship rings hopefully come, and we thankfully I'm so excited to announce that in I think it was 1997 we won a Super Bowl over then the New England Patriots. You sound like you're from Boston, maybe.
Is that a dig?
How'd you know that? How'd you know that? Everyone gets lucky once in a while.
Well, so
Wait a minute, you don't get a ring, do you? No.
No, no.
how much is, I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask when talking about money, but
Question.
how much does a share cost?
$200.
Okay, got it. That is so cool. I did not know that. Fun fact. All right.
There's a lot of stuff we don't know.
So is that the shares that you have? Are those now that been passed down from your family, or are you now they're your name? Like, is that something that your family bought and that you were grandfathered in, or what does that look like?
This one is mine because I wanted to hang it in my house so I could have my son. I could show my son and
Can
hopefully.
you buy more?
That's so cool.
Not right now currently. If they need to do capital expenditures or something to that effect to the stadium again, they may reissue more shares, but there's no shares for sale currently.
And it's not a name like an Indian name. They have to avoid taking
Oh
away.
my gosh, enough. Anyway, so you live there in Wisconsin and then you grow up there. What's your move after high school?
Why did you leave?
Yeah. No.
Oh, so I worked in the footwear industry actually. In my town, there was a shoe manufacturer, but that was basically the town. So like family worked at this factory, and that's like really the only main source of industry prior to it was a fishing town as well. So I worked at this shoe factory while I was in college, and then I traveled around the country. It's the greatest summer job ever. I would travel around the country doing tent sales. So I got to see the country. I actually left my small town for a while.
Wow.
And then when I graduated from college, they offered me a position in Dallas, Texas. So I moved to Dallas, Texas. And let me tell you, that was kind of quite a change for me. When I moved there, everyone's like, "Where are you from? Are you from Australia? Are you from?" I'm like, "No, I'm from America. I'm from Wisconsin." Like, where's Wisconsin? I'm like, "Oh, we're a state in
Hey,
Wisconsin."
Upper U.S.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah. It was
Wait
like
a minute. What was the name of the shoe? Because we were in the shoe business for 12 years. What was the name of the shoe company?
Alan Edmonds.
Oh, they're still around. It's
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
high-end men's stuff.
Wait,
Absolutely.
so did you go to college in Wisconsin as well too?
Yep, I
You
went
were-
to UWM, University
okay,
of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So about 25 miles.
got it.
What are you wearing right now? Any Edmonds shoes? No.
No, he's
Well,
probably wearing
now,
his new
yeah,
brand, I bet. But okay, so you go work for him or work for them, and you move to Dallas, Texas. Just you, solo on your own, like 22 years old-ish at the time,
yeah,
probably.
yep, absolutely. It was like 2 weeks. I always remember this is how when you get old, you always have like landmarks in your life. And
Yeah.
it was 2001. I always remember because it was like 2 weeks before 9/11.
You better write this down because also as you get older, you may not remember all the dates you think you remember.
I just realized that we're like the same age. If I'm doing the math right, we're exactly the same age. But so okay, so you go there and you like know nobody and you set up shop in Dallas and you're working for what was your role there after you doing all the tent shows? What was your role there?
So we started opening up our own company-owned stores. So I was managing the store location in
Big
Dallas,
move.
Texas. Yeah.
Oh, big move.
Got it. I mean, that is like crazy that just to totally uproot yourself and go from this like far north in the center of the state or center of the country all the way down to like now
Yeah,
Dallas.
but also a startup where you're operating at like ground zero, can create a brand and brand awareness and retail. That's a big task.
Are you able to say that fast enough?
I think it's a big task. I had very little for breakfast.
My parents said they owned a shoe store many, many years ago before, actually, probably before I was born. And then,
We grew to four stores.
yeah, they had 4 shoe stores in New York. And
Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah,
he
Eminem is high end stuff.
were they just starting out back then, or are they?
No, no. I mean, they're a high-end leather dress shoe. I mean, they've been around since the 40s. But
And you
they're
did tent show, like you would literally set up a tent and sell the shoes out of a tent?
well, it was like a summer closeout, so it'd be where an existing store was, but it was in like outlet stores. So it'd be like in Reading, Pennsylvania, or Newton, Massachusetts, or something like that. You
That's
go to
right.
where our store was, and then in that mall parking lot, we would get a giant carnival tent and then sell the shoes. And I would drive this giant U-Haul truck from tent to tent to tent, like from city to
Wow.
city. I'd go to like upstate New York and then over to Omaha, Nebraska, and just driving around and working in a tent with another buddy for 10 days. It was the greatest. I mean, it was the greatest summer job
Yeah.
any college kid could have. And
In a truck, like you had a truck that you drove?
yeah,
Like you joined the circus.
yeah,
Wow. How did you, I mean, like coming from someone like a small town feel, you went to college only 25 miles from your home. Where did the sense of adventure and getting out and doing that? Because that's not easy. A lot of people don't ever travel. Some people have never been outside of the state they
It's
lived in
great
for their
for
life.
living.
Yeah, but where were you? Where did that come from for you to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this? Like it can be scary for
honestly,
some people.
ignorance is bliss. I always felt I was just up for the next adventure, and I didn't realize what I was getting myself into until you're there. And then I just love to take the next step forward and just kept moving forward. And I'm so grateful that I didn't know any better, really. And
Yeah.
I just took those chances as a young kid.
Are you an only child?
No, I have a brother who's 3 years older than me.
But after the shows, you must have traveled with a bit of cash in your pocket.
Oh yeah, yeah. And but the great thing is we always had like that was who I'd make friends with. We had a security guard that would watch the tent at night for us. And I'll never forget the guy in Reading, Pennsylvania. I think he ran the town. He was like secretly, he would get us like tickets to the Reading Phillies games and stuff like that. But everywhere we went, we had a store though, because it was in the store's parking lot. So
Sure.
there was an actual store and a store manager in that town. So they would handle all that extra cash.
Wow, what a big responsibility for like a 21-year-old student. So you're there in Dallas. How long did you live in Dallas for?
Just 1 year. And then they came calling and they wanted me to move to Orlando. And I thought, oh, my
See,
family always enjoyed
everyone comes to
Orlando.
Florida. Everybody comes to
Yeah.
Florida.
So I moved to Orlando. I figured the
Wow.
happiest place in the world. So
That's a big change though too. That's a big shift. And still single at the time, or were you married at that time by then?
still single, yeah.
Okay.
And I bet you thought Orlando was near the beach.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit. And I was told, oh, it's a short drive.
Yeah, like an hour. Depending on traffic, right? Depending on traffic. So you come to Orlando still working for them and living in Orlando, like in the heart of Orlando, like Disney Orlando, or
The West Side, it was actually a newer area that they had just built, kind of right by Universal. It was closer to Universal, almost
got
like
it.
5 minutes from Universal.
Got it. And you stay working for them, and now your role was the same thing, and you were still doing the same thing?
Yep. And the one thing I would say is when you move to a new city, just a young single person, you think about all your friends in life you've met probably through school,
Sure.
through like a sports team or work. When I was there, I didn't know anybody, and I worked with like two other people. So I went back to get my MBA at UCF just because.
Woo! Charge on!
Yeah,
Charge
absolutely.
on! Yep, I love it. I went to UCF.
And it was another one of those moments because at that time I took the executive MBA program, and it was right around when NASA was decommissioning. So you're with the same people in this MBA program for about 22 months. And it was
Oh boy.
25 of us.
You
And I think
bond. Oh, sure.
18 of the 25 people in my program were literally NASA rocket scientists. And it was like one of the most incredibly humbling and like frightful first like month of my life, because I'm like, the old joke is how many rocket scientists does it take to change a light bulb or whatever. And I'm like, rocket
Right.
scientists, how am I going to compare to these people?
Right. You're like, I'll change the light bulb. I'll change the light
Yeah.
bulb. Wow. What and they were going because they were getting decommissioned at the center. They were going to get their MBA because they wanted to be more marketable or because they needed the skills.
Yep. Yeah. I think NASA was also paying for their schools, but also they were all pretty much going to be losing their jobs. So they were going to be going into the public sector, having to get
Wow.
other jobs. And so they were using this opportunity to get an MBA so they could be more marketable to.
Does this story turn dark at some point?
No, no.
Why did
We love
you?
dark
I
stories.
mean, we've had enough. Why did you? What was that going to help you in your role by getting your MBA? Like, why would that have happened? Like, why was that going to help you?
Just thinking about the time I wanted to increase my skills, but at the same time as networking, I wanted to meet people and become a part of a community and just be, put my hands into something more involved. But it ended up being the greatest learning piece. I don't remember really one thing I learned in the program, like from a book, but what happened is all these engineers and rocket scientists were so smart and I couldn't keep up with them on statistics and doing all these calculations. But I realized that I presented and they'd be like, Keith, we'll do all the calculations, all the work if you
You
just
should
present. It's like, oh, wow, there's a skill to that. Like, I love to present. I love to talk. Sure. And then I would start presenting and I realized I just got to entertain people and be outgoing. And then everyone would come to me and try and like recruit me to be on their teams because they all want to just do the work and none of them wanted to speak. And they're like, we're just going to
Yeah.
grab Keith and make him the speaker. And so I found my role and realized there's a role for everybody in this life.
And were you working at that time also?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And that was the tough part because it was a night classes. So it'd be like work all day and then you'd have to go to class from like 6 to 9:30 at
I would
night.
fall asleep when I couldn't stay awake.
Yeah. And you would drive to the campus because it wasn't virtual at the time. So you would drive to the UCF campus, like out by where their main campus is, or no?
No, so this was because it was an executive program. They did it at Palm Bay, Florida, and thus that was kind of out by Cape Canaveral, and
Oh
thus
yeah,
it was so
that's a
many.
haul for you.
Yeah, it was about an hour and 15 minutes. Another like life-changing moment for me because I had so long of a drive that I started listening to, I guess they weren't podcasts at the time, but I would be listening to CDs and Audible books and just increasing my capacity to learn while I was driving. And I'd find so many interesting things and I could just
Sure.
I got like addicted to the drive because I was like, all right, this is another hour and a half. I can listen to a great audio CD to learn something new.
Well, and it shows that listener, if you're not watching the YouTube video, but you're listening online on, app on iTunes, Amazon, or Spotify, you are in front of a very large bookshelf with lots of books on it. So those are, I would imagine that those are just a collection of things that over the years you've gathered and read and appreciate.
Oh, absolutely. I find it's one of the most valuable things. It's very underrated in today's society, reading. I make it a point to try and read maybe at least 1 to 2 chapters of a book every day
Wow.
because it just on top of reading, but I feel like it's just like working out your brain, and I find myself being like just a sharper and better version of myself when I can get that reading done. It's like a workout.
Okay, I'm ready. Fast forward to today. What are you doing today?
No, but I think that's a big lesson right there. Like I think that's incredible that you can read because you have three children, is that right?
Yes.
Three children, all under the age of, I want to say 11, is that right?
My oldest just turned 13.
Oh, 13. Okay. Oh yeah, because I think you just did just like recently there was a post about that
Yeah.
online. Yeah. Okay. So how old are your kids? 13,
13, 11, and 9.
11, and 9. And all boys, right? Am I right on that?
No, my two oldest are boys, and my youngest is my daughter.
Oh God, I'm totally screwing up here. Sorry. So this is why we're having this conversation. So you still find time every day to read two chapters of a book. When do you do that? Like in the morning, in the afternoons, at night? Like when do you do it?
Yeah, typically I get up early, like around 6 a.m. at least, and then when I'm drinking my coffee because I feel, and that's when I always get in trouble too because I'll read, I'll be drinking coffee, and I feel like I can just conquer the world. Like I feel unbeatable, and that's why I always like plan and put myself out there and plan way more stuff than I probably should be doing. My morning self gets the rest of my life in trouble sometimes because I get so aggressive. I feel, and I feel like I can just accomplish anything in that first 2 hours of the morning.
I feel like you should market that coffee to some people. No.
I know.
But so let's talk about like so now fast forward to today, you are a dad, married to your wife. How did you and your wife meet?
Uh, Dancing at a bar to the hokey pokey.
Shut up. You got to tell us that story. For real?
Yeah, yeah. It was just the end of the night, and they were singing the hokey pokey, doing the
What
hokey pokey
bar?
song.
What?
It was downtown Orlando, Hog's Breath Saloon.
Oh, I know Hogsworth. Yeah, okay. So they played the Hokey Pokey?
Yeah. Yep.
And
And
you
it,
So
and you
that's
and you said you put your right hand in, and she put her right
yeah.
hand in, and you grabbed it, and you're like, "That's it, you're my partner."
Yep. Absolutely. That's what gave me the courage to do it.
I love, and that was it. Like for one, like met that night, and that was it. It was like love at first sight. We got each other.
Yeah. Yeah. More or less, some ups and downs and some other journeys along the way, but definitely.
I love that. So you work at this other shoe company for a few years, but then you made a transition in your career. So what did that look like?
Yeah. So then I moved into more of the wholesale side and I jumped over to Birkenstock, which I'm now working for. Previously, I'd worked for Rockport Adidas Corporation, and now I work for yeah, Birkenstock.
One of the oldest footwear companies in the world. I believe you told me it was from like what year did they say they started? Or the concept?
1774.
it was Germany, yes?
Yes, yep, absolutely. Still a German produced and German owned company.
And they have made a serious comeback. It is like now the bougie of the bougie that are wearing the Birkenstock. It's like they have made a serious comeback in the last
Did
couple
they
of
give you
years.
hippie training?
I've had that in my background. I have a pretty diverse background, so I've got that in there.
Go on. But so that's so cool. And so you're doing that, but you're also, you post these really cool videos every day, or not every day, but a lot about you have a program called the Win It Minute, right? Am I saying it correctly?
Correct. Yep.
So is that an idea that came to you when you were
Over
having
morning coffee.
coffee? Yeah, when you're having coffee one morning, like what
Yeah.
prompted that? Like where did that come from? Where did that originate?
So, kind of to back up a little bit, but when my first son was born, he was born and he had a hole in his heart, so he had to have open heart surgery,
Oh.
and it really kind of rocked my world and rocked my wife's, and we were just kind of frustrated and angry, and I was really trying to become a little bit more positive version of myself. So I was reading a lot of books, Tony Robbins and other things, and I just realized the power of that positive mindset and how you need to shift it. And there's a whole long story about I don't know if you know who Nick Vujicic is, but I was reading a book by Nick Vujicic. And when I learned that my son had to have this open heart surgery, I was just so upset. I ripped out a page of the book, I spit in it, threw it in the garbage, and just like cursing out God, cursing out the world. I was angry. And as they would have it, the cover of that book is staring at me from the garbage, and it was Nick Vujicic, which I don't know if you know, but he has no arms and no legs. And he's like this faith-based motivational speaker. And I'm like, gosh, who am I to like just wallow in my pity and frustration over this? Like, I need a change in my life. So I just really, that's when I started to really find books and stuff to inspire and motivate me to have a more positive mindset. And then I realized people in the world need to hear this. So I started making these 1 minute videos about how to be more positive and how to be more successful. And it was also kind of, if you ever watched that show, How I Met Your Mother,
Hmm.
like that. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make this video. I want to make 1 minute videos a day for my son when he was born. I was like, this is how you can be successful in life. I'm gonna do these 1 minute videos. And knowing that kids are never going to listen to you directly, I figured maybe when he's older someday, he'll watch these videos of me talking to him to teach him how to be successful. And then I realized, wow, the rest of the world could really benefit from this also. So that really motivated me to do these 1 minute videos, leading to a book. And then I wrote a book about it, and then people getting offers to speak about it. And that's where I came to NSA and all that, because it was amazing to me that people wanted to hear this story on stage. I was like, wow, you can speak about these things as well, and people want to hear this story. So then it just really transformed what the whole Win It Minute was about.
I love it. So you said he had a hole in his heart. Is that a common condition or was it something that would it have been life altering?
Yeah, yeah, it's called a VSD, so it's a hole in the heart. And typically, if you have a hole, sometimes it'll close on its own. But 8 months into it, it did not close, so they had to perform the open heart surgery. Which, if you know anything about it, it's like you have to saw open the chest, crack open the breastplate, pull out the heart, operate on it, and then put it back. So it was obviously a very, it was weird to me that all these doctors like, oh, yeah, no problem, we'll get this taken care of. And in the weird twist of everything, my brother-in-law was a pediatric anesthesiologist, and he was working in Pennsylvania, and he transferred to Miami. And at that time, he's like, "Hey, you got to come down here because the number one pediatric heart surgeon in the world just transferred to my hospital." and I'm going to try and get him to do the surgery. And he ended up performing the surgery on my son. And so my brother-in-law was actually in the operating room with him
Oh,
too.
wow. I can only imagine the
How old was
emotion.
your son at that point? Eight,
Eight
nine, eight,
months.
nine, 8 months.
8 months, 8 months.
8 months. Wow. And he is doing perfect. Was there any complications afterwards, or he's
No, yeah, no complication. I mean, other than he's like the toughest kid in the world, and I think, and this is part of my mindset thing is that when he was, as a baby, most babies are being soothed and coddled if they're a little cranky or a little upset, but he was being passed from doctor to nurse and poked and prodded for the first. So he was just like a fighter from day one because he had to be. He was never just like chilling in the crib. He was always being passed around by all these nurses and doctors and being operated on. And he was just like constant state of a turbulence, I would say. So he is just like this ball of energy and just a tough kid. You would think he's from Boston. He's so tough. And
Thank
people
you very much.
and so it's like his greatest gift, but it's also a curse as a parent because he's tough, but
Yeah.
I just love the fight in him.
Well, and he's the oldest too, so
And
he's
yeah,
making that mark. And then your two others, they did not have the same condition, or did they?
they did not know, but obviously, they were monitored from a young age on because it's kind of can be passed down.
Can that show up at any age?
Yeah, so the other thing about it is it's a little bit more, like I think the technology has gotten so much better in the last 25 to 30 years that, like when we were born, I don't think that they would have necessarily detected those things. So there's probably a lot of people more our age that walk around and then learn about it later in life. And then it's a little bit more debilitating probably at like 40 to 45 because it's much harder to operate and fix your heart at that age. But yeah, in the last 20 years, they just have the technology is so much better. They're able to detect it.
That's why you shouldn't eat so many donuts when you're pregnant.
What? Donut hole? Seriously?
You have to explain this?
It's so interesting. I was telling someone this morning, and you'll appreciate this. My dad, my whole life, like we would go out on bike rides or on walks, and we would just talk about different things. And you used to always say to me that it's so incredible what our bodies actually do. The fact that we can wake up and we can talk and we can move our hands. For those of us that can, right? Like everyone's got different abilities, but just the incredibleness of the human
Well,
body.
it's a constant miracle you ignore.
Right. Yeah. And like,
Absolutely.
and you were talking about the author who, has lost his arms and his legs and like the power of the mind where he's come. I can't say his last name because you said it and I can't repeat it.
Yeah, but was he born that way or how did
Yes. Yeah, he was born that way.
Really? Wow. And
that's a tough soul, man. That's
yeah. But what an incredible thing. Like there was something about that. Why did you buy that book to start with? Like you bought that book before you had found out this news about your son or
Yeah. Yeah, I bought it because I just really dove into, belief and faith and mindset. I mean, I was huge into Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, and just going down different books. And his was on the power of faith.
we've lost him. We've lost him.
I usually have the book somewhere around here.
Did you ever tape that page back into the book?
Yes, yeah, because I actually my first speech I ever did about it, I brought it out and I showed it to everybody. But yeah, I have that in there and I keep it near me just because it's a great reminder of
That's
like the
you.
genesis of what
yeah.
changed me.
So now you've grown this thing where you're helping other people. The video started off for your son, but now he's part of them. Your family is part of you brought them into the fold. You have all this fun, all this like cool AI stuff where you're flying like Superman, all these good things. What is it that you do? Because listen, the world is noisy. It's noisy and there's a lot of things that happen. So how do you maintain? I was saying before we came on this call, I was saying that every time that you and I talk, you are infectious with your attitude in the best way, not in a bad way. Like I want more of it because you're just like, hey, this is gonna work out. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be awesome. Like you're just always like that. So how do you keep it there, right? Like it's like, there's so much noise in the world and it's so easy to be like, oh crap, this isn't gonna work. How do you maintain that elevated attitude of, you know what, it's gonna work out. Something will come from this. It's gonna be fine.
It's really intentional. I have to work at it. It's not natural. It's not normal. It's something that I work at every day, and that's kind of part of my morning routine. Is I read a certain amount of news articles and just to keep informed, and then I go on to positive stuff I'm looking for, and then positive videos that I'm watching, And now I'm reading, and on top of that, reading the books that I read are to craft that mindset. But now with this Win It Minute, now I'm intentionally looking for stuff to inspire not only me, but then I have to create a video. So I'm like, oh, I got to find something inspirational to teach to others. And it's funny because when my son was young, he loved Tarzan, the movie. We watched it like 100 times. And there's like a great Phil Collins song in there where it's like, to learn is to teach and to teach is to learn. And I'm like, wow, the best way to learn anything is to try and teach it. And that's why now I force myself to make these Win It Minute videos because I have to force myself to teach myself something positive, but then I have to teach others. So then it's like ingrained in me. But
Is it a daily broadcast or no? A daily?
yes, ideally I would do a 1 minute video a day, but sometimes I miss the videos. Just kind of life gets in the
Man,
way.
that's a job.
Yes, yeah, but now my brain is attuned to always looking for stuff to be inspired by, and just be motivated by it. And but by all means, I'm not always positive. I mean, and it's like my kids remind me all the time. And like when I'm yelling at them, like, "Stop doing this! Get out! Hey, what did you do? Stop fighting!" And they're like, "Oh, look at Mr. Positive," you know. And so it's like I'm always reminded that I'm by all means not perfect.
They
But
humble you all the time.
oh, big time, yeah. Amazing how kids will do that for you. Like,
Oh, family and kids. My whole thing is humankind be both. But when I'm driving, I get to be a very defensive driver, and
You have no idea.
I get very frustrated by bad drivers, and then my whole family like, "Oh yeah, you're being so kind now," and I am kind. I'm not like telling someone next to me they're number one, but I'm like, "Where'd you get your driver's license?" So
Stan, you're not like that. I can't see anyone from Boston being.
he was a cab driver.
For 4 years. I've mellowed over the period of time. Let them get aggravated. Just I'm having a good time.
He just gets the
Really?
yell from my mom as he's driving. She just yells at him and says, "What are you stand?" So he's just I think he doesn't hear anymore.
Louis C.K. has a great routine about it. He says, I'm such a nice guy. Everything's fine. But if someone cuts me off in traffic, I become a crazy animal.
That's me.
It
That's
is.
100%. Yeah. But it's funny how kids, I would imagine that being a parent as well too. So many of the lessons that I teach today come from what I learned from my child, right? In the leadership of space and just the human space, like you start to really learn even more as a parent when you have to raise another human and you've got three. So I imagine that, yes, you're the positive person then, but I imagine that you're pulling content from just learning from them as well too.
Oh, 100%. And it's kind of it's I got to talk. When my son had that surgery, it seemed like the worst thing in the world, but it's ultimately the greatest gift I ever received because it shifted all of my things, my thought process in my life. And it's like I always think back to that. He's stronger, he's better. We overcame that. But now whenever we encounter any obstacle or problem, like, all right, what am I going to learn from this? How will we become better versions of ourselves? And I think about it because I mean, honestly, my son, he is like the toughest kid in the world, and he excels at a lot of sports because he's so tough. And I'm pretty sure maybe I'm just convincing myself in my mind, but he became tough because he went through that adversity at such a young age. And I feel like adversity creates things in us that we normally wouldn't get. And so it's like when we encounter that obstacle, when I encounter a challenge, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a better version of myself overcoming this. And we've all survived everything that we thought was the worst thing to happen to us in the world. We've all had that worst day in the world, like, oh my God, I might die, or this is the worst thing. My life is over. My career is over. This is over. This relationship is over. We've all survived it. But we've all survived it.
Can you give us a small sample of one of your moments of inspiration so we can drive our people to your website? One you like, one of your faves.
Like a favorite book or like a
No,
favorite?
his favorite minute.
Oh, one that you've created, a favorite, like one of your favorite win it to minutes that you've created.
Wow, that's man, that's a tough one.
You don't have to fly across the screen. No, there's no computerization stuff.
It's really like I think coming back to what I've recently been diving into, it's all about what you focus on longest becomes strongest in your life. And when we focus on more positive things, it really unlocks things in our life. Even just like driving in a car. Yeah. I get angry when I'm in traffic because you're like, why? This isn't fair. This is not fair to me. And I'll never forget one time I was in a traffic jam. I was late for a meeting. I was cursing out the people trying to cut around. And then what happened is I came upon the scene of what was causing the traffic accident. And I had looked over and I was like, holy cow. Like I'm just like thankful that I'm not the reason of the traffic, jam. And it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be 8 minutes late to this meeting, and I think my world is ending, but like that
Someone
could
else's
be
world.
me. That could have been me over there. And it really shifts your focus. And that's one of those things that really changes me. And now when I am frustrated and angry, and when I'm driving down the road and you're in a traffic jam, yes, I get angry or upset. But then I think to myself, all right, maybe this stoplight that I'm stuck at is saving me from that accident down the road, or it's putting me on the right path. And I'm just thankful that I get the opportunity to get to where I'm going. Not that I have to go, I get to. And when you shift that mindset, that's one of the most powerful things that you can do. It's powerful in your mind. It's all about the way you envision things and stories that you're telling yourself. And once you learn that little key, it changes everything.
Will you drive me home?
Yes, no, you can walk.
Pedestrians are in danger all the time.
So your son, I would imagine, has a scar left from the surgery, or no, because now he's so
So, yeah, I'm sure
is there a scar?
Yes, yeah. And I remember when it was going up, my wife was researching what the scars would look like, and just driving ourselves nuts. I mean, it's like if you try to Google what's ailing you, you're gonna find a million different
Oh
things.
my gosh, Dr. Google is not your friend.
No, no, and so that's what we were doing. And today, I forget about it. It's like he'll be playing, let's say, basketball, and take off his shirt, and he's like playing with his buddies, and then all of a sudden a parent come over like, "Hey, what's that on his chest?" I'm like, and I don't even see it. It's like one of those things you just become numb to, and you don't even realize it. It's like I have a tattoo on my shoulder that I got when I was like 19. And I don't even, I forget I have it for years. I didn't even notice until one of my kids was like, "You have a tattoo?" And you're, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Oh, of
But
what? Of what?
it's like a gecko and his son. We always call it a lizard because my wife's name is Liz, and it's like, so it's like, oh, we got it because you knew you were gonna meet her. But yeah. So his scar, like, you can't even. I don't see it, but it's only brought to my attention when other people are like, what is that? And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot. He had that when he was 8 years old.
At what age do you think he understood the surgery that he had?
Gosh, I would say, well, so he met one of his good friends when he was about 9, had the exact same surgery as him when they were born. And we actually met that family, and they had done their surgery in Orlando. We had gone to Miami.
Right.
Anyway, when this kid was 9, the surgery wasn't corrected properly, so he had to have it redone at 9 years old. And you're talking about a 9-year-old having again to have his chest sawed open, cracked open, surgery. So I think just seeing his 9-year-old friend go through it was what I opened his eyes. But also reading my book. When he read my book, he doesn't admit it, but once in a while I'll hear him talking to his friends about it, or he'll say little things to me about it, so I know he read my book.
Yeah.
So I think he understood it.
And what is the title of your book?
Beyond the slogan, how a video a day taught me the winning.
Oh, look at that picture. That's a great picture. That is you, right? I'm assuming that is you.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have pictures like that.
I do have a picture of me like jumping like crazy. We are like a kindred spirits, Keith and I. So yeah, I love what you talk about when you speak about. Well, I just think what you're doing is awesome, and I think you're just such this like superhuman. Not because you make yourself Superman on videos, but because like you
Just
just
how it
it
helps.
does help. But just the more that we can put those messages out in the world, that people recognize that yeah, we all have our crap. We have things we go through. We have things that are going to be terrible. There's always someone that's going to have it worse, always that someone's going to have it better. But if we can find just that 1 minute a day to focus on the good and the positive, then that does help us navigate the world that we live in. So I'm grateful that I get to know you and share your story and share your voice. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Any family still left in the old town up in Wisconsin?
Yeah, my parents we recruited to come down here and help us, so they live down the street from us. But
Oh, I
the
love
rest of my
that.
family all still lives there. Yeah,
Like
Have-
walking distance to your house, they
yeah,
live?
yeah.
Oh, it's
In
so
fact,
exciting.
my cousin, my good friend, they actually ended up buying my parents' house, so then now they live in. And we added to it. But yeah, and you guys, honestly, this inspires me. I mean, it's like that's amazing to see, a father and daughter wanting to get along and work together. I mean, I would consider my life a complete success if as I get older, if my son would want to partner with me on a podcast or anything, my whole life that would be the greatest moment in my life.
I liked him when I first
I
met
didn't,
him.
no one ever said we wanted to do it. I was just forcing him to do it.
Uh,
Just kidding.
In the course of your evolution, have you met some of your mentors in person?
Oh, great question.
yeah, but not. I mean, I've learned from so many people from afar for sure. Um,
Ever
I
go to like a
guess
Tony Robbins seminar kind of thing?
yeah, that's
Walk
probably
the
the
coals.
most. Yep. That Nick Vujicic we ended up seeing one time. We were in California, and I remember he was going down the street in his wheelchair, and my kids were all like, "Oh, look at that guy! No arms." I'm like, "That's Nick Vujicic." I was trying to
Oh,
tell them
cool.
the story, and they didn't understand it.
Just
Uh,
randomly in California, he was there.
yeah, yeah. It was. We were in like Los Angeles. This my kids. My son was like 5 years old. Maybe I
Did you
was.
go say hi?
No, I didn't. I should have. I wasn't. I don't know why I didn't, but because he was being honestly he was being mobbed by children, and they were all running up to take pictures of him, and you could tell they were wanting to take pictures because he was a no armed and no legged person. They weren't like wanting to take pictures with him because they knew who he was. So you could just tell he wasn't comfortable.
I would imagine it's taught your kids to be more accepting of people with differences as well too. Just like your attitude and where you come from and knowing that people have different struggles. Do you see that impacting your kids and their attitude of seeing the world through your eyes, but through your influence?
Yeah, they would never admit it, and they don't treat me or in our household. They're not typically like that. But I see them. I'm the type of dad who's coaching my kids. I'm always out there, and I see it from a distance. But when I'm around, they don't admit it or they don't really show it. But I see it from a distance.
I love it. Uh, thank you.
So you're still working for Birkenstock at the same time, yes?
Yeah, yep,
What, you
absolutely.
want a pair for your birthday?
No. I don't want free merch.
You're from Boston? Come on.
Did you used to wear them back in the day?
I was a fried boots kind of guy.
Oh, okay. Now you need like, what do you wear? What are you wearing today?
My
Oka,
my
Brooklyn.
pickleball
Okay.
shoes.
Oh, pickleball shoes. Oh, do you wear Oka? No, do you wear Oka?
Who's Oka?
Or isn't it what's the sneakers you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's that.
No,
Oh, okay, got it. Well,
I could.
look.
My closet's full.
He's got so many social engagements. He just needs, three pairs of
I
shoes.
will say one of my mentors in the footwear world lives in Lakewood Ranch right there.
Oh,
He's like an incredible golfer. If you sound like you're a pickleball, but this guy Greg Van Loo. If you ever run across him in Lakewood Ranches,
oh.
he has like the most incredible story of all time. But he taught me a lot in the footwear world.
Reach out to
I
him.
will to ask him if he wants to be on the podcast.
Oh,
He's
Oh
so
my
gotcha.
God, the guy is the most personable, incredible person in the world. Like he like was in the army, and because he was a good golfer, like this female sergeant took him under her wings. It's like, I want you to be my golf partner. And she basically just took him all over the world, and he was like basically just a golf partner to like a famous sergeant. That was his role in the military, and it led to him meeting so many incredible people that he became like this. He'll tell the
Was he
story
a
much
golfer or a gopher?
golf, yeah, golfer and gopher,
I
yeah.
get the
But his
story
golf
straight.
skills led him to be a gopher, but it kept him out of like active duty, like having to be. And he was like this prodigy child that just someone took a liking to, and just his main role was just to golf.
Oh, you'll have to connect us. We'd love to hear his story.
So you're living in Orlando now, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. We're Floridians together.
I know we are. We're not from. You're like close to Disney too, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. About like 15 minutes from the happiest
You
place
still
on earth.
travel. Well, you travel. You're traveling for
Yeah.
both aspects of your life.
Yeah,
Sure.
Do you
absolutely.
see the fireworks from where you are, like every night, from all the different theme parks?
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing because again, you can become desensitized to things in
Sure.
life. I remember when I first lived here, for like the first month, you would hear the fireworks. You could actually hear them at night, and I couldn't sleep because I could hear them. Now it's like, oh, fireworks are going on.
It's like your cuckoo clock.
Oh yeah, I'm a cute guy. It's also like my husband's English accent. Someone's like, "Where's your husband from?" I'm like, "What do you mean?"
He's
Oh yeah, he's
upstairs.
English.
Upstairs.
Who gets that more, your husband or your father with the Boston accent?
Oh, my husband's accent's very strong.
Is it that pronounced?
I don't know. Are you that pronounced? I don't hear his accent at all.
I had a good speech professor in Boston University, and I mean, he got it out of me.
Did he? If he gets with his brother, you hear like the pack the cat, you hear the whole like strong accent.
That's wicked pizza.
There you go. Well, Keith, thank you
A
so
pleasure.
much for being
Yeah,
our guest. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being just everything that you're doing. You are appreciated. And if I ever need tickets for a Packers game, can I call?
sure, absolutely.
And I'm very confident that when the podcast ends, you don't become an ogre.
I've never seen him like, and we've hung out, and I mean like hung out, like we worked together on some different projects. I've never seen you ever in a bad mood.
Well, I'm also a big proponent of you. I think your attitude creates a healthy environment within your own body as well. You become more like a homeostasis, and you just, I mean, your immune system is great, but you ward off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we just planned an event together, and I was like freaking out a little bit, but Keith's like calming energy and positive like mindset was like, all right, we got this, we got this. So thank you for that. You kept me like there.
She overbooks.
We all do. Have you heard his? I have the same coffee he has.
Yeah, yeah. That morning, Keith, dude,
Thank you, Keith. We appreciate you so much.
yeah,
Awesome. Thank
a
you.
All
pleasure.
right, see you soon,
Keep up the
friends.
great work. Appreciate it.
Thanks. See you. All
Bye-bye.
right, bye. So cool, right? I told you.
Well, it's also like his support group started out by having people that he read, but it's nice to have people, physical people in your life you can learn from, you can glean from, like a support group.
Yours for me, you and mom. Like I learned a lot from you guys and a lot from like my husband. Like, but I think it's also like who you surround yourself
Oh,
with.
no question.
Like I really have, and it takes a long time to realize that is that to keep the people that cause drama away from you. Like I just don't need that in my world.
you
I
have to
don't want
filter
that
it
in my
out.
world. Yeah, it's just you don't. And sometimes it's hard to do that,
Well,
but
unfortunately, sometimes those people are in family,
it's true.
close friends, or a spouse. You like love a couple,
It's
but
true.
one of the spouses doesn't give you that kind of feedback.
It's true.
But you have to take care of your number one priority when you have kids and
Yeah.
stuff. If you go down, the ship goes down. So
Yeah.
maintain yourself, and it's not easy sometimes.
Yeah, I loved his story. I thought it was really great. So thanks for being here for that, Dad.
Excellent.
Thank you, Keith, again. And listener, thank you so much for listening to
I
our
wouldn't mind
podcast.
walking a mile in his shoe in his Birkenstocks.
I know. I said to him, I said, "Do I get a discount? Can I call you up?" No, I actually don't have a pair of Birkenstocks. I'm a regular flip flop kind of girl. It was funny. I was really fast. We went for a walk the other day. My friend and I, we were out by the beach and we went for a long walk. And she was like, "Oh, I brought an extra pair of sneakers if you want to put them on." And I said, "I actually feel more comfortable in flip flops than I do in sneakers."
Well, did you walk barefoot on the beach? That's the way you should walk.
No, we walked to breakfast like on a
Okay,
sidewalk,
gotcha.
but I walked in flip flops and I was way more comfortable than wearing
Oh, that's no
sneakers.
question.
I get hot with socks.
I love open-toed stuff.
Yeah,
Because living in Florida, you accommodate a lifestyle that you just can't duplicate up north.
I would walk barefoot everywhere, but it's gross.
Well, you're more grounded to the world, though.
Yeah, and actually, if you go outside, put your feet in the grass. That's the best feeling. Let's go do that.
Right now?
Yeah. All right,
We gotta run.
We gotta go.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Bye, listener. Have a great day.
Hey, thank you for tuning into today's What's Your Story podcast.
To learn more or share your story, go to jamiemarco.com. That's www.jamiemarco.com. And we will see you next time.